Now it is time for Group G. Let's take a look at our competition. The teams we have are Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, and England. The Red Devils Belgium are considered to be going through a golden generation in the last few years. Despite the fact that they've not brought any trophies home in the last few years, their squad still looks pretty strong, and although it's not getting any younger, they're one of the 6 favourites to take home the World Cup this year. They passed their qualifying group in flying colours, only being troubled by Greece, drawing 1-1 with them at home and having to come back from them to win their last game. They won 9 out of 10 games, scoring 43 times and conceding 6. So it's safe to say they could put away smaller teams with ease, but in the World Cup with such great competition, can their team of superstars find the chemistry and come together in this World Cup? Considering the other teams in the group stage they could have been drawn against, I think Belgium got pretty kind for this one, no offence to the other teams. I'm going to predict Belgium to finish first, with not as much competition as they could have gotten. Debutants Panama qualified ahead of Honduras and the United States, defeating Costa Rica 2-1 on the final game week to secure qualification. They finished in the standings with 13 points out of 10 games, scoring only 9 goals and conceding 10. I may not recognise their team because their players are from teams that I don't follow, but that doesn't mean I won't recognise their clear achievements that they've earned. Their eldest keeper, Jaime Penedo, has earned 130 caps for Panama. Defenders such as Philippe Balloy and Romain Torres have earned roughly 100 caps. Midfielders such as Anibal Godoy, Gabriel Gomez, Armando Cooper, and Alberto Quintero have also earned roughly 100 caps each. And strikers such as Blas Perez and Luis Tejada, with the latter scoring 42 goals in all caps in the current squad. I am going to say Panama will finish third in this group. Yes, this will be a new experience in this competition for them, but their squad is experienced and they'll want to give this World Cup a good go, as it is their first time of course. So I think they could have the potential to give the teams such as England and Belgium a challenge this World Cup. Tunisia entered a third CAF qualifying round in order to make it to the World Cup this year. They played 6 games and finished with 14 points, winning 4 of them and scoring 11 goals, only conceding 4. This was against 3 other teams though, so the only way we can really judge if their team is ready is monitor their friendlies in the upcoming weeks. In terms of players, Wabi Kazri scored 9 goals and made 2 assists in 24 league appearances for Stade Rennais. He was considered Sunderland's most talented player in his time for them, and if he could find some good form, then Tunisia could have a real chance in this group stage at least. My prediction is for Tunisia to finish 4th in this group stage. Their squad doesn't seem as experienced as Panama's squad, and I can't see where their quality is going to come from in their particular squad. A young and relatively fresh England squad look to take home a major trophy for the first time since 1966. It's better than most teams. Like with most years, the group stage made it look easy. They earned 26 points out of 10 games, winning 8 and scoring 18 goals and only conceding 3. Jordan Pickford and Nick Pope have had solid seasons with their respective clubs, while Jack Butland still remains a great goalkeeper despite his relegation with Stoke. Centre-backs such as John Stones and Phil Jones have not played the majority of games for their clubs, but have performed genuinely well when they have. There's also decent competition for fullback spots as well, such as Ashley Young, Danny Rose, Kieran Trippier and Trent Alexander-Arnold as well, with Jordan Henderson, Eric Dyer, Fabian Delph, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Dele Alli making up the midfield spots. Our attacking players look fairly promising though, with Raheem Sterling, Marcus Rashford, Jamie Vardy, Danny Welbeck, Jesse Lingard and of course Harry Kane leading the line. The World Cup of course will be anything but easy. However, I'm going to predict England to come second in this group. With a fresher squad and a clearer vision of what this team is going to be, I can see us actually performing better in this World Cup, and I expect Gareth Southgate to take us at least to where we were in the last European Championships. Which leaves the standings of Group G as follows: Belgium to come in first, England to come in second, Panama to come in third, and Tunisia to come in fourth. And last but certainly not least in terms of competition, Poland, Colombia, Senegal and Japan. Poland had a strong European Championship run, making it to the quarterfinals being beaten by Portugal. They also finished their qualifying table top of the group, taking 25 points from 10 games, winning 8 of them and scoring 28 goals, conceding 14. Their talisman Robert Lewandowski also finished on 16 goals. Wojciech Szczesny and Lukas Fabianski have performed very well for their respective clubs, the former keeping 11 clean sheets in 17 for champions Juventus, and will be tough deciding between them which one of them gets a nod for the starting spot. Kamil Glik and Mikhail Pazdan have had good seasons and should continue as a centre-back partnership. Lukas Piszczek, Artur Jedrzejczyk and Bartosz Berezinski provide good competition for the fullback spots. Grzegorz Krakowiak has had an underwhelming season at West Brom, who of course were relegated from the Premier League. Piotr Zielinski has only gotten better at Napoli. Karol Linetti has also had a decent season at Sampdoria and could get the nod for that starting place. Kamil Grosicki has also had a decent season at Hull and could retain his starting place from the Euro Championships. Robert Lewandowski and Arkadiusz Milik are expected to lead the lineup again, at least to my knowledge that is. So the team is relatively the same since the European Championships, and in a group of no clear favourites, they could easily go on to win this group. I'm going to predict Poland to finish first. I think their quality is a little better than the teams of that in their group. So if you're looking for a differential in this year's fantasy football, then Poland players could be a good option. Colombia did just enough in the South American qualifiers. They finished on 27 points, one ahead of Peru and Chile. They scored 21 goals and conceded 19. For their players, David Ospina should keep his starting place in goal. Davinson Sanchez has had a good season with Tottenham, and now he should start in that centre defence, along with perhaps Christian Zapata of AC Milan. Carlos Sanchez has only played 14 games for Espanyol on loan, but with his 83 caps for the Colombians, he could start in that central midfield. James Rodriguez has also had a mixed loan spell at Bayern Munich, but as he is one of their key players, he should definitely start for the Colombians. Jose Izquierdo has done well in his time at Brighton this season and could very well start. Juan Cuadrado hopes to overcome muscular problems by the start of June, and hopefully gain enough match fitness to break into the first team. Carlos Bacca, Luis Morel and Falcao provide good competition for strikers. So Colombia do have a talented team, and of course they went out in the quarterfinals last World Cup to Brazil, so if they can reach a similar consistency to what they had the last World Cup, they should have an okay run. So I'm going to predict Colombia to come second in the group stage. Senegal topped first in their CONCACAF qualifiers, no losses, taking 14 points from 6 games, scoring 10 times and conceding thrice. Kalidou Koulibaly and Salif Sane have had solid seasons with their respective clubs, Napoli and Hanover. The latter was even named captain for their final game against Bayer Leverkusen, and so hopefully we'll get to see them form a solid partnership in the central defence for Senegal. They also have the likes of Cheku Kouyaté, Alfred Ndiaye and Idrissa Gueye to choose from in centre midfield. Keita Balde of Monaco unfortunately looks to be out of the World Cup with an injury. Their key player Sadio Mane has scored 10 goals and made 7 assists in 29 league games for Liverpool, and 9 in the Champions League as well. So he should definitely start for Senegal in the World Cup this season, and will most certainly be one of their most influential players. And for strikers they have competition from the likes of Mbaye Niang of Torino, Diafra Sakho and Mambaran Diouf of Stoke. So their squad has a pretty good template this World Cup. I can even see them potentially qualifying in this group stage, but alas, I am going to predict them to come third, just behind Colombia and Poland. Japan qualified first in the third round, edging out Australia by just a point. They took 20 points from 10 games, they scored 17 goals and conceded 7. First team goalkeeper Kosuke Nakamura will join the first team for the World Cup, despite suffering a concussion and sprained neck just a few days ago. Maya Yoshida managed to keep Southampton in the Premier League, and should definitely retain a starting place for the Japanese. Right back Hiroki Sakai played 33 games for Marseille this season. Gotoku Sakai played 28 games for Hamburg but unfortunately got relegated. Shinji Kagawa only picked up 19 starts for Borussia Dortmund, scoring 5 goals and assisting 3 times. There's plenty of competition to choose from up front, such as Cologne's Yuya Osako, Takuma Asano from Stuttgart, Shinji Okazaki from Leicester, and Yoshinori Muto from Mainz. Osama and Okazaki have had the most regular football out of the 4, and would be my preferences to start up front anyway. Similar to Senegal, Japan have some good players in their team, and generally put in some hard-working performances in every game. At least the games I've seen them in. But in a competitive group, I am going to put them 4th. I think it will be a close group, Group H, but unfortunately I think the Japanese will cut the short straw. And that means the standings of Group H goes as follows: Poland first, Colombia second, Senegal third, and Japan 4th.